Sure, he's not gonna be here.
No.
Your CSB billing is higher than the court.
That's up to us. Yeah, that's. Not make progress.
Yeah. $2,200.
This is that Lynn Bell copied you. I copied
Yep.
you too. So do one you want to confirm with her? That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'll get over.
Okay, and then, Lukey said he was available if you want
Oh,
to
okay.
go, but that's up to you. I
Yeah.
told him that I thought it's best if it was just the two of you, but
Yeah.
it's up to you.
February 27th at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, if you were copied, I can email it.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'll do that.
Janitorial's plan.
That's public health.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That's everything from mops. She's gonna run out of the budget.
Yeah, I sent her an email about that she's gonna run out of budget.
Phone runs for the services, telephone service, 1170.
Just that, they just charge you amount. Oh, you annual.
Oh,
amount.
annual amount,
And they
okay.
charge you a 12th of it each month. At the,
Oh, so it's 1170.
that's from the county attorney's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just charge it. They don't have, give us any bills, or anything, they just charge 1/12 of our. What you budget each month
For
for
The
renting and phones and all the administrative things.
Oh, yeah.
1170 for the phone. That's pretty fierce.
I think that's why I think that not only do you have the rental things, but once you get to.
There's other-
But move their office in the county office, why you pay the
Copy
exact
machines and everything
expenses, yeah.
I just learned today that Tony did something with the sheriff's department to move more of that upstairs jail space is now all occupied. Didn't have a clue on
I don't know if it's all occupied, but there's quite a bit of stuff.
that. Everything except for this little front, the front way where the gate goes through.
You see,
Frankly,
it is less than the sheriff's.
But I'm
Shooting
sure
range?
we can
Oh,
find
that's just the build that stuff over there.
someplace.
We need to clean that
Yeah, that's.
whole nurse's office, a big stuff there.
That's the last thing that we- Yeah.
On the election stuff, that really ought to be. And then
Commercial still has.
a little bit of Doug stuff, it's nothing to do with that.
Incentives.
And the rest of it's just,
Commercial.
Michael, but Michael's,
you know, and some of it's just, some of it's there, I mean, it's got old. Junk that's sitting around there.
it's always
Which, if you get both.
like that front wall.
Want to go look at.
Well, it's 9:30. All those that so choose, will stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order with 4 present. As a reminder, the meeting is being recorded. If you choose not to be recorded, you have the option of leaving. First item on the agenda this morning, Tara Hoffert from Community Insurance of Iowa on our insurance renewal. Yeah, we need that. It's all yours, Tara.
Right, I emailed Ben and just kind of let him know what was going on this year with rates and such.
They went down, huh?
Well, actually, so the property rate is not increasing, so that's good things. But the property has an inflation factor on it of 2%. So your property, your miscellaneous property buildings and such, all of that's going to increase by 2%. So that in turn will look like there's a property rate increase, but the rate per thousand stayed the same. The general liability, they're estimating about a 2% increase on the liability side of things. So they recommend budgeting about 5% rate increase or increase in contribution. So that's not bad compared to what it has been the last couple of years. But they just really recommend to going through your schedules and making sure you've got things insured to value. And I also had sent over a list. They had HCA Asset Management go through some of the equipment that currently has replacement cost on it. And they went through what you have on it currently insured versus what it would be for replacement cost. And if you want to maintain the replacement cost on these pieces of equipment, you have to insure them for those limits. And then they gave the estimate or the contribution difference, keeping it at replacement cost. So I brought a copy over here.
They can look at it. I did tell them that Michael and I had talked about that. and
Okay.
That we wanted to maintain replacement
Mhm.
costs.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the front is the list of the equipment that's on replacement cost.
Those are like high dollar pieces
Yeah.
basically, and so if something happened to a 2 or 3 year old maintainer, we would get a replacement of a new one.
Like kind of quality, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And there really wasn't a huge difference in the contribution amount for the most part for most of them, because they were pretty close to where they needed to be.
Where do your biggest losses seem to occur? In what general areas?
Well, knock on wood, you guys have been pretty good as far as losses, but I mean, fire losses.
Our-
listed.
Our most frequent loss, we met with the loss control agent, Lynn and I did
Mhm.
last week. And our claim that we have the most is deer
Yep, law
Deer
enforcement.
strikes.
deer strikes on
Yeah.
law enforcement.
And those, I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get around those. But, and they also have lower deductibles on their vehicles too, but. And we've looked at increasing deductibles in the past on those vehicles and it doesn't make a huge difference, but again, we can do that this year too and just look at increasing deductibles, see if it saves any money.
So would you say half of the auto claims in Winneshiek County are deer strikes?
Probably more than half. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because quite honestly, your loss history, knock on wood, has been pretty good. So I did print out the renewal supplement. Normally what I do is I email it out to Lynn and she distributes it to the different departments. And then they go through the list. Last year I had ICAP send me Excel spreadsheets, so it's a little bit easier to read. So I'll distribute those too, because I've tried to make, as we've made changes throughout the policy term, I've tried to update those to keep it, kind of streamline the process a little bit more. So hopefully that helps this year. And then we have the cyber application again to come through, but it hasn't changed from last year, so I'm assuming you're it's probably gonna be about the same. ICAP sent out another list of property that must be scheduled if you're wanting coverage on it. Some of these items you really haven't insured them in the past. I don't know if you have any interest in it, but like fences, gates, flagpoles, bridges, we've never insured any of your bridges, fire hydrants, streetlights, those types of things. They have to be scheduled in order for there to be coverage on them, but like I said, you've never done it in the past. I don't know if that's something you want to take a look at or if you're gonna kind of lump things together, but I'll leave this list with you too.
Fire hydrants or streetlights?
There's
Yeah,
a
they do
few,
this-
there's a
like this
couple,
thing.
I mean, we have a couple lit intersections.
Right.
There, we don't have very many, and I guess if the storm takes full out, we'll just,
Being
City of Decorah's got one. Trying to think where our street is gonna be.
Like we have one at the end of the road that goes to Spillville.
That's on 52.
Like
though.
the intersections.
No, but I think it's our light.
I mean, there's some light signs, those, that's different.
That's different. No, I think we have a couple of lit intersections. I remember
Up on-
the past. Yeah, there's only a couple, but
Well,
Yeah.
traffic signs too, or not.
That's something that's ever come across my desk.
like the,
First thought.
does Frankville Water have their, that would be the only fire hydrant or whatever
They have,
They have something
they have
else.
some, yeah.
They have
and-
coverage for their system.
And quite honestly, you've got a $5,000 property deductible. So those types of items, some of them anyway, you know, that's more like if you had a catastrophic loss, if you had a tornado knock out a town or something like that. I don't know if you wanted to take a look at any of that kind of stuff, but
I just think if we've never done it before, we don't have very many of those things.
it does, they just wanted to make sure that entities are aware that.
Okay, so if we go up to this replacement cost, like on this motor grader that's valued at 375,000, you have 400 on it, you get the 400.
So you'll get replacement value. What they're saying right now is, are they saying the replacement value is 400?
Yes.
Okay, yep, so when it's insured on a replacement cost basis, you get up to that replacement value with the maximum being what they're, yeah.
400,000.
Yeah. Yep, less your deductible. So, and I believe on those bigger pieces of equipment, you might have a $10,000 even.
That sounds right.
Yeah, 10,000 deductible on the larger pieces of equipment.
But the ones we got valued at like 387, there's a 2012 road grader that's valued at what, 314 and
Yeah, but when you have a replacement cost on it, you have to insure it for what it would cost today, like a
Yeah.
2025 or 2026. And
we got, there's 112, cost $718 a year for that difference between the two. But if we got a 2012, with X many hours on it.
but if something would happen, would you want, just put that on actual cash value, or do you want to insure it for replacement value? So you get replacement cost on it if something, like say fire were to.
Dig out the shop or something, and that's,
Yeah, so that's kind of what you have to think about when you're looking at replacement value versus ACV.
If I may, I would say that if you don't want to do that, you would probably want to instruct me to get my balance up higher. My carryover balance year to year, in case something bad really happened. That would be the reason, that would be one reason to have my balance high. So we wouldn't have to pay a replacement cost for insurance. That would be the, financially speaking.
So on that side of it, so 2012, say the actual cash value of it is only 150 though, even if you say you have to prove that it's worth like 300,000.
Yeah, you may only get 100.
You may only get 150,000 because it just depends on what the actual cash value of that specific year without that many hours on it is worth. So
if you keep it at ACV.
if you keep it at ACV.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do replacement costs, we're gonna get the
Mhm.
400,000.
Right.
That's why
Yeah,
I'm looking at it like
yeah.
our cash balance year over year.
So even though we got that 2012 road grader that's got 8,000 hours on it, you're gonna give us a new value for it. if it-
Like kind of quality when you have replacement value, because if there's like a 2012 with, but that means if it's got low hours on it, it's good, in good shape, you might not find something like that, so you're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah.
If it's got 8,000 hours on it,
And then that's, are you looking at ACV or are you looking at, yeah,
then you're not gonna get paid the 400,000.
if you have to replace it, like kind of quality, so, I
Yes.
mean, insurance isn't meant to get you ahead, it's meant to get you back to where you were.
Like on my farm equipment, you only get paid what You have to put it
Yeah,
for $125,000, that's it, you
Yeah.
can't put it at replacement cost.
On a blanket, you have to have
Yeah.
actual cash value.
Yeah, the actual cash value, so that's what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't get paid, I can't say it's worth 300,000. It's only worth 125, it's only worth 100.
Right, and that's the
But if it
difference.
turns up, They ain't give me a new one.
No,
No.
and then that's the
So
difference.
that's
between
what I'm getting
policy,
at.
yeah.
That's why I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
It's new to me to see that.
Yep.
Get paid for something new.
Yep.
That we don't, that's completely shot.
Yeah,
But that's why you're paying the extra.
It's
That's why you're paying the extra.
$700 a unit.
Yep.
On 4 units to do that.
Yep.
Which is probably where, when we didn't used to even carry coverage. You
No.
go back 10 years, we didn't have
Didn't have any
coverage on those big equipment. And never really had a claim. We still haven't really had a claim, but one of the neighboring, wasn't it Fayette or Chickasaw that had a shop burned down?
Yeah.
And they lost
They lost a lot.
the
And I think that's kind
equipment.
of,
That's when we said, well, we better, just in case.
Well, the last time we went through and reevaluated the values of them, the newest dump truck we had didn't have any full coverage on it. And that's the one that got flipped over on the middle Kelmer Road. Luckily, it wasn't total well. Yeah. So that's when we started going back.
Well, didn't we, whatever, what was the landfills fire? They had, did they lose how many pieces of equipment?
That's still coming around. We were just discussing that
Talking
this
about
morning.
that today.
any other questions on the ICAP side of it? Okay, so then on the workers' comp side of it, I'll leave this with you too. It's your experience rating report. Good news again, your experience mod is a 0.64, so it's really good. I think it was like a 0.7. Yeah. Well, and I asked my underwriters, what's the lowest you've ever seen? And he said a 0.37, so like, that's really low. But yeah, so that means you're paying 36, a 1 is like the flat rate, so you're paying
Oh,
36% less rate for your per rate per 100 for both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and if you look at this, it's got your actual losses, your total, you really haven't, I mean, again, knock on wood. You've had really good loss experience with IMWCA. And this is based on the payroll. It gives me each policy year from 2023 on. 2024 being, sorry, I don't have my glasses with me. But yeah, so that this goes to the very end as your final amount is a 0.64.
So like a workman's comp claim, do they stay on? How many years is it till it goes? Is it 3 years
So,
after the last payment?
Basically, yeah, so when a loss happens, it takes 2 years for NCCI to kind of pick that up and apply a mod to it. And then it stays on for 3 years following that. So it could be about 5 years that you might have something on there. But as far as what they charge you for, it's like a 3-year look back.
But then you go back to your normal,
Mhm.
back down.
Yeah, and it can go down even if you have a bad loss and it bumps up. The following year, the older it gets, the more, I mean, it can bump down a little bit at a time. So,
So I thought,
yeah.
that's what I thought it was a 3-year.
On a countywide in the state, we rank pretty well.
Yeah,
From
so
what
you
I
guys are
can
doing a
pull.
good job there. Yep. Well, I think that's what you guys do.
.37, is that a county?
It's a city. He said it was a city.
Yeah, I don't, there might be a 5, 6 or something for a county, not much.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't tell me what city, but
The employees too.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. He didn't say the size or anything either, so, but yeah, but 0.37, I was pretty impressed with that. But any questions on that?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then ICAP does have the grant again for 2026, so every department gets their application in first, I guess. It'll be a race. But like I said, I usually email everything out to Lynn. She distributes to the department heads. And
We'll do that.
yeah.
Thanks,
All
Joe.
right, thank you.
Road department needs to apply for the grant.
So they do almost every year.
Okay, see ya. Next time on the agenda, Kueny County Engineer.
Didn't know that Shirley was not gonna be able to make it. This is the, that's the resolution
You passed that last week.
you passed last week, and that's the formal written resolution there. Hey, for the bill grant, yeah, is there what I have on this?
I need.
Oh. Doesn't move in the direction. My item Ben's got it.
This is.
The letter of support, I've been trying to get to your email, but got around to just this morning.
I don't think you voted on it for the resolution last week. You wanted to vote.
Oh, we didn't vote on it.
Yeah, you voted to approve it, but you
Okay.
didn't vote a resolution number or roll call vote or that kind of thing. So,
Would like to take action on that.
it's, bridge, whatever.
126.
I move to approve the resolution for Bridge 126.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution for Bridge 126. It is a resolution.
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
I also passes.
Yeah, Bill's grant. You kind of thought next to blue, or something like that. Should that?
Back to you. Or
Yeah, I'll need to scan them in and.
You would want to be specifically for each of us.
Yep.
Just want us to sign these things to be approved, the letter of support a while back.
Yep.
Marion County's.
The lead, yeah, they got the big project.
So you basically need just my signature.
Just the signature would be fantastic. Thank you, man. It's a form letter. I got a couple of them in already, kind of businesses that I, last week I just had.
That one's a signed one. Not that one. This one.
But I got this and signed. This is signed, perfect. Yes, we'll just get started here. Winneshiek County, Bill's grant, thank you for signing the letters of support.
Yeah. Copies.
That's what I did. Okay, now I'll begin, I guess. And you have your reports in front of you. Letter of support, thank you for signing that. Railroad flat car bridge study. Still working on that one. Subdivision, there's nothing new this week. The mechanic position. It has been open internally for a week now. Will be on Wednesday when we go public with a new mechanic position. The mechanic that we had is now operating blade and he's getting his feet wet, I think, as we speak, as we're on Wagon Road. Engineer's office is working with vendors to spec a new maintainer for purchase 2027. Engineer and mechanics will meet with Caterpillar on Tuesday morning at 7:30. And then,
You met with John Deere last week.
not last week, but the week before, yes. So Cat is in a position where they're changing up their which engine is gonna go on the maintainers that we run, so we're gonna look at getting it's called a Cat C9. It's a 140H with the C9 engine is what we're looking at. Getting a bid on, so or a quote on, so I think that's what they'll present to us on tomorrow. See, and then gave the list of compensation for the road, what's equivalent to our road foreman position. I highlighted the counties that within the 6 counties, yellow, and I put some comparable counties in green that are equivalent to what I am asking. I'm asking that the pay be moved 4 steps to the step 8 within the pay matrix for road foreman. So wanted to have that discussion this week. And kind of talked with everyone, or with each of you last week about how you might be feeling on that, but I didn't want to, put this in the order of business for the county, put it in front of your eyes and in front of the public. So with that, I guess. A good
To
question.
clarify, you already have, so the previous person that vacated this position was already at this.
Yes, we had 2 positions and so the idea here is that we have a superintendent, a road foreman, and this floater position. Whereas before we had a superintendent and 2 road foremen. The floater position is staying within the union, and we now have just 1 foreman. So
And that's this person.
yes.
And the previous person in this position that left was already on this.
Yes, and I have that information as well.
Yes, you don't need the details, I don't think. I just wanted to clarify that.
I have a matrix here, and that's why it just kind of it has names on here, so I don't want to say them, but if you'd like to look at where everybody pay between the engineer, the superintendent, and the foreman positions, I have that right there. And then this is just the hourly dollar amount.
So this is a non-union position.
This is a non-union position, therefore it's on the matrix. Nope, no,
No, but the previous foreman retired.
yes,
The previous foreman that was at step H retired.
yep,
And so he's basically, this person is taking over those duties and responsibilities, so they should to be the same as what the person that retired.
What does the matrix say about that?
That's why he's asking for it to be this way.
But
I mean, that's what we, usually if you're moving someone to a different position, you can pay them what they paid the person before. So that's why he's asking for this. He's not asking for a new exemption. He's asking to move a different person into the previous exemption.
thank you, Ben.
Yeah, that's the important part. It isn't that you're creating a new exemption to policy. What you're doing is, and just like when someone moves from the shop to the road grader, they're gonna get the new pay, even though they aren't a new employee. That's what's going on here. Is this person isn't a new employee, they're just moving into a position that had a higher pay. Because the previous person that was in that position retired. And he's actually a little late because they retired at the end of the year, so we're about a month late, this person.
Yep.
So how long had that person been in the job?
So how long he had been at the, I don't know when he moved into that position formally, but on the order of 5 or 6 years. And he had 20 plus years of overall experience.
With the county?
Yeah.
And this person has had how many years?
I think he's at 18. And just as a department, I'm looking at it as a promotional. If we look at, I think I wrote this to you, Mark. If we go from maintenance worker to assistant foreman, the step is a 4.5% increase. An assistant foreman to the floater is a 5% increase. And then the current wage to the floater is only a 2% difference, whereas what I'm proposing is going to be a 10% difference. And then from the foreman's position to the superintendent would be a 16% difference.
What that floater position is in the.
It is in
So
the
that
union.
has to be rated by the union.
That's already done. This has nothing to do with that, other than
Okay.
some of the duties that used to be taken care of by the foreman are now combined into one foreman position rather than two.
Yes, and that's
That's the important thing, is this person
Yep.
is taking on
More
more responsibility.
it's a higher responsibility. I'm trying to keep and
Keep the
a hierarchy.
gap in
We're
the-
trying to keep a hierarchy within the department. That and I did a little bit of looking with the it's Google AI, Gemini, and basically for any promotional step that we're looking at, the suggestion is 10 to 15% bump. So, and this would be a 10%.
Not a full 10%, because some of it he already has.
Yeah.
But it would be a 10% above the next lowest position.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Any thoughts?
What's the cost of replacement if you lose?
So that's a hard thing to get at. Here's what the way I look at it is, because one of the best jobs that he did was on Nesty Valley, and what does it cost to get someone who knows how to take plans and bring them to the field? And that kind of a foreman position, you're talking about a 90, I'm gonna put around a 90K for a construction super, someone who's supervisor.
You would probably never go out and hire someone that doesn't have experience into the foreman position. You'd start in the growth department. That's why we need
So this position, so that's where his, that's where a lot of, I'll call it his value is. But the other thing is when we're looking at positions relative to the rest of the, similar positions in the other counties, that's kind of like the sheet that I handed out here that has the numbers highlighted. Currently, we're below average with his current pay.
10%.
And then, and then the other thing about Winneshiek County is we're one of the larger counties, which has a larger area, which would justify a higher than average pay. And kind of some of these other counties that I highlighted in green are counties where Winneshiek County is dominated by the city of Decorah with some outlying other cities. Similar situation is Delaware and Bremer. And then Mitchell County is kind of how Mitchell County, just because Mitchell County is it's a northern county, and they're paying their foreman their, I'll call it, not the same as what I'm proposing, but in that same vicinity.
Can we hang on a second?
Yep.
Should we run this public hearing through? Because it's scheduled for 10 o'clock.
What do you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot else on here, other than,
Well, okay.
so I can,
Go ahead and finish up.
I just want to put this out here for you guys next week, and then I guess I met with
We may not be meeting next week, because,
okay,
you might be the only person on the agenda, so we'll just wait a week.
just the budget is my concern then.
Yeah, but then we need to do that, yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so then,
The one thing about this is you're painting a picture for younger employees that come in and start painting a forward advancement picture that gives a.
I'm trying to keep steps up,
Keep
so that
steps up.
all the way up the chain.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
keep
keep
them up.
consistent with where our pay is relative to other counties. I mean, our crew members get paid a little bit higher than average, and then our foreman who manages those employees gets paid less than average. So it's just, I'm trying to right size that hierarchy, if you will. And the step that I propose is the most natural step.
Which is exactly why you approved this for the previous person that retired.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the biggest key of this. This isn't a new deal. This is just a new person doing the same thing that someone did before. At the same pay that they're actually doing more than they did because they have the whole county rather than.
Yeah.
So we have the budget amendment.
Do you want to make a motion on this foreman thing or? Is there?
Move to approve.
I personally like to go through these numbers.
You can, yeah, I mean, I just want to put that in front of you this week, so.
Yeah, let's just wait till Shirley's here.
All right, budget amendment. That's the only other actionable thing here. I want to say that this is, when I say this is not final as a final amendment, I'm always saying that in the fact that we have a chance in April to make it a final amendment, but we're getting close to our high numbers on one of our categories, and I don't want to be scolded by the DOT on.
This is only a
being high.
DOT budget amendment that actually has a lower expense figure than what your past budget was.
Correct.
It's just moving stuff.
It's within the categories. They don't want us to be over 10%. On any given category. So I'm running into a condition there where I'd like to just get that amended and then maybe amend again in April.
I'd move to approve the DOT budget amendment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the DOT budget amendment. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I'll start assigning one.
Oh, it's in the original. You have a signed copy?
I've got one.
I've got one here too.
after you sign it, I'll keep the copy and then give you the original. Entering to the DOT.
That everything you have then, Mike?
That's all I have. I mean, I talked about the different meetings I've had this week, which were, there's quite a few. But yeah, ICAP is one of them. You heard already my half, so that this the underground storage tank, we're gonna have to replace that somehow. That's gonna be a costly expenditure. So it's probably fiscal 28, we're looking after that.
That's a 500 gallon already.
$500,000 proposal, really, that depending on how we do it. Anywhere from 200,000 to 100,000, kind of what we're looking at. So there's a lot to look at, and I hate to say the word cut corners, but we're trying to make it cheaper. We're looking at maybe doing some things internally ourselves to keep the price down. So yes, we're dealing with that right now, and one of the things is it's over a 30-year-old tank, and if leaks happen and things aren't done according to by the book, I am personally I've signed the papers that I'm personally responsible for that, so it's kind of it's going to be something I push for that reason. So
W14 plans, did you get that? For their signature
I don't have W14 plans.
in Spillville, you said you were gonna have that for the date.
I don't have it.
Okay.
And I have it sitting on my desk. I know where it's at. I have to go get it, but I don't have it with me. So next week.
Do you want to bring it back?
Bring it back. There's no next week probably.
All right, that's right. Can I bring it back towards the end of the meeting then?
So, yeah.
So,
Actually, bring it back right away because they'll have a closed session at the end.
okay, I'll go get it.
We'll do the public hearing while you go get it.
Yep. I'll be right back.
All right, next up, public hearing for the Krivachek zoning request. Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
With motion second to open the public hearing, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, planning and zoning held a public hearing on this January 13th. Unanimous recommendation of approval for all those present. I do have 2 letters from adjoining landowners who are not pleased with it. They also wrote letters for the P&Z.
That came up at the city council meeting in Fort about questioning what was happening out there. What were the 2 letters in general? Were there objections to that?
Well, that's interesting because they don't really tell us their objections. The letters are almost identical and they're from Charles Rhea and Larry Rhea. The letter reads, I am strongly opposed to the change of the present zoning classification of A1 Ag District to R2 unincorporated residential district as stated in this appeal by Max Krivachek. The second one reads, I strongly oppose the proposed change from the present zoning classification of A1 agricultural district to R2 unincorporated agricultural district as stated in the appeal by Max Krivachek.
It was interesting that the comments from the city council meetings, they were familiar with it because it's not too far out of town, was no objections at all.
So who had no objections at all?
The city council in Fort.
Okay, yeah. So at the P&Z meeting, there was one other person who wrote a letter that was against it, and they actually had a reason, and their reason was the ground is swampy up there. And it is. And Max Krivachek said that they had taken, they had done some dozer work up there to take care of it. I believe that's actually in the minutes from the P&Z.
They tiled, put in some tile.
Yeah.
Reworking. But that classification fits in right with everything else, and there's M2 next to it.
Yeah, so you have a map that, oh yeah, there's actually a map in there that everybody can see. Straight across the road is the same zoning district.
David said that they were gonna be on city water,
City water, private sewer.
but they said they would do private sewer.
Yes, they have private sewer.
But like they would do city sewer if they had to, or.
I do not recall that. If,
I mean, it would be nice if they could.
Existing, that's existing single family.
This is the lot, here's R2, M2, R2, R2.
And then the carve out that it wraps around is existing single family.
yes,
Because if city sewer was available, I think that would be the preference for people. Should be.
yes, yes,
Is there any way we could?
I'm not sure about Fort Atkinson, but I think like, some of the other municipalities have a rule that if city sewer is located within such a distance from your property, that you're required to join it.
Oh, that's 200.
Because Krivachek stated he may be able to connect to the city sewer system if needed.
Okay, yeah.
Is there any public with any comments? Anyone on the line?
I move to close public hearing.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. All right.
Is there any way we can require them to be city sewer?
No, since they are not within the city limits, you cannot require them to hook onto a city infrastructure. If they want to and they arrange it with the city, that's fine, but we can't require them to hook onto it.
And the distance to the city from this point is what, half mile? It's pretty far.
I do not know the answer to that question. I didn't measure it. Going down this, on this last page of this map, it's just off of the map.
Yeah.
It's just off where the city limits is.
Motion to review. Move to approve.
I move to approve the first reading.
Second. And the motion and a second to approve from first reading. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Agreed.
Got a bug in the girl anyway. Ordinance amending the county zoning ordinance to change the zoning classification from A1 agricultural district to R2 unincorporated residential district for the herein described property. Whereas a request for amendment to the zoning ordinance of Winneshiek County was submitted to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Said request having been acted upon by the Planning and Zoning Commission following a public hearing. And whereas the request for amendment of the zoning ordinance pertains to the following described real estate lots C and 1D in Anderson's addition to the town of Fort Atkinson, located in section 8 of Township 96 North, range 9 west of the 15th Winneshiek County, Iowa. Whereas the said zoning requested that the property be rezoned from A1 agricultural district to R2 unincorporated residential district. And whereas a notice of the time and place of a public hearing on said request was published pursuant to law. And whereas a public hearing as required has been conducted by the Winneshiek County Board of Supervisors. Whereas the Winneshiek County Board of Supervisors has considered the Winneshiek County Comprehensive Plan in their review of the applicant's request and does find that the request is consistent with the policies and goals set out in the Winneshiek County Comprehensive Plan. And Now therefore be it resolved by the Winneshiek County Board of Supervisors, one, that the zoning classification as to the following described real estate, lots C and 1D and Anderson's addition to the town of Fort Atkinson, located in section 8 of Township 96 North, range 9 west of the 5th PM, Winneshiek County, Iowa, is hereby changed from A1 agricultural district to R2 unincorporated residential district. Two, that the zoning map of Winneshiek County, Iowa be modified to reflect this change. Repealer. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this zoning ordinance or inconsistent with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent necessary to give this ordinance full force and effect. Severability clause. If any section, part, or provision of this ordinance shall be judged invalid or unconstitutional, such adjunction shall not affect the validity of the ordinance as a whole, or any section, provision, or part thereof not adjudged invalid or unconstitutional. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect after its passage and publication as provided by law.
I'd move to waive the second and third readings.
Second.
There's a motion and second to waive the second and third readings. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I move to approve the ordinance change.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the zoning change. All those in favor?
Roll call.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
I also passes.
Should be 3 signatures
Yeah.
there.
All right, thank you much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Okay,
This will be approved, the W14 plans in Spillville.
Doesn't sign any certain color.
And offset.
Yeah, just a little
purple or something.
Here, wanted.
Black.
Black.
That's black.
He's got one there.
I got blue. So it's like, oh.
Which paper all of this?
I was reading that off on.
we got too many things to rely on here.
Is it?
You got that teachers, that's DHS.
Not you, don't worry about it.
No, no.
Okay, I'll understand. I don't want
We have to, I never realized, I've never picked that one up before. We paid.
Did we have a motion to do that?
Yep, thank you, everybody.
And we're going to take action on the W14.
I move to approve the W14.
Motion and a second to approve the W14 project. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Motion passes.
Again.
Or did I need to recuse myself because that's the section in front of my house?
You should have.
I don't.
Well, we still have majority. All right.
All right, next up, miscellaneous, the second run.
You could have been drive that.
I had to pay for driving.
Second run, I emailed that out and there's also copies. Like this. So really all I changed from the last time is I changed the one-time deposit to the health insurance fund from 300,000 to 500,000. So then on the back, it shows the change in the proposed levy rates to make up that difference.
That's general supplemental.
General supplemental, yeah, no changes to the general fund or the road fund, those are still at the legal maximum. So you're still looking at a 38-cent total decrease in this levy rate.
If I can hear this next year,
Hmm?
will that hurt us next year?
Depends on what I mean, we have to lower the general fund and the road fund, so that's,
Yeah.
we're required to,
With the
so.
supplemental,
It depends on which bill passes or how the bills
We got
get
that.
through, but I think that we built in enough of a cushion there, I
We
think.
got
we're-
500,000 on the.
Yeah.
Health insurance that we can have next year's.
Yeah. So that'll give us a little bit of a buffer.
We told the taxpayers we were gonna lower a little bit because we got rid of the health payment, so.
And that's 19 cents.
So I guess as long as we're talking budget, I was gonna make a recommendation on health board to. Because we were at 504 last year and they've done nothing yet. I don't know what they're gonna do, so we're gonna have to get ahead of ourselves and. Try to, so we know what they're doing instead of
Trying to do it mid-year.
instead of doing it mid-year.
Yeah, they're not making, are they making adjustments knowing that?
I don't know, they were gonna at the beginning of this fiscal year and they just didn't do it. They should have, but they didn't. And now they're sitting. I don't know what they're gonna do. Dan sat into a meeting for me, he explained it to him, I explained it to him 4 or 5 times. And nobody does nothing, they just ignore it.
So on their proposed budget for FY27, they've got about 610,000 in expenses. Right? They've got
I,
165 in revenue. So
get down to that 5 something, we'd have to cut 93 if you cut first page 1 at 100,050 on labor. And FICA and IFRS there, and page 2, take 30,000 out of the health administrative labor, FICA and IFRS there. That total of them comes to approximately 90, what did they have? 93,645 approximately. So that's what we'd be looking at.
So if we don't, they're
Just
gonna run for at least 100K over
Yeah.
budget that we're expecting, and we can't, if we let every department do that, we'd be in big trouble.
And
I've already notified them that for the current year, they don't have enough money to make it through the end of the year.
They should have made
They haven't made any
changes, should have made changes when they were supposed to, but never did.
what changes do we make?
Because
They could let 2 people go, because we're not being efficient down there, very inefficient. I know I sit there, I know exactly what's going on. They're just way inefficient, because we didn't have any registered nurses there for what? 2 months there for a while, everything ran smoothly. Yeah, like a year ago, we didn't have any nurse. Just the public health administrator's own nurse. And the home health care aides were there. And shoot, we got everything done we needed to get done. Now we hired 2 more and nothing, they didn't increase
nothing's
nothing.
changed.
I hired 2 people and nothing increased, never increased income. So that tells me right there, we are more than, yeah. And if you talk to anybody I've done my homework. And
So your proposal is on the very first line,
Line.
the first page, go to 50.
Yep.
And then adjust the FICA and
FICA and IFRS.
accordingly,
Then page 2, go down to,
where it says Galen in front.
cut 30 off there. Like a IFRS there. Approximately is 93,675. I'm not sure what approximately is, I'm not. And that's where we kind of wanted to be.
Where was that on page 2?
Where it says Galen in front, the second from the bottom.
Oh,
That one went up quite a bit because they moved Frana from the other section. into that.
It's not hurting our home health care aides. They're still there.
Am I blind? Oh, it says, here's. where-
Oh, there, okay.
Okay. I was looking.
So you're
for-
gonna cut one of those positions?
One of them would be part-time. One of them's part-time. one full-time.
You cut that with what?
Cut it by 30,000.
Yeah.
So you can see on page 4, right here, there's a blank, because that's where she used to be. For 30,000, 31,000, whatever. So we moved her into the other section because she wasn't really in their help. So we put her in admin. But Mark is proposing that we cut that out basically.
Don't pay it, not even worse with it, and they had to do it, so
You, is this something we should
No.
have
chicken sauce.
Krista?
I mean, if we don't do it, they ain't gonna do it. There's, yeah,
I mean, I think we should have Krista come and
I'm making the proposal here. Yeah, because if we don't, they were supposed to do it this year and never did it. And we get along just fine. I know, I've sat there for 5 years and watched it. And nothing ever gets done. So we as a board here have to do it because the health board doesn't do that.
Our budget responsibility.
Well, I think we need to have Krista come and say what she expects. the impact.
We've listened to that for how many years? and
Well, I just,
Nothing changes.
I think the public needs to hear.
Well, we can make this here today and you can come in and tell us whatever.
And I mean, technically, once you cut the money out, they can reorganize. They could say, well, we're gonna not do this, this and this and put the money in the salaries after. all.
That's
I mean,
up to them.
that's up to the Board of Health, once
Yeah.
you set the total dollar. amount.
Yeah. Because if we don't set the total amount, nothing's ever gonna
Nothing's gonna
change.
change.
Nothing will ever change.
I just think we should have Krista come and explain what she
But
thinks.
Chris
about
doesn't have the authority, Mark. The Board of Health has to tell us what
He
to
doesn't.
do.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand the budget well enough.
Oh, then we should have the Board of Health come. Chairman.
But,
They're not going to.
I've said they literally said the budget is not there. I mean, they just agree with whatever's told them and that's it.
So
Well, I'd like to have them come and
they could
probably
have
be
to
be
be,
accountable then for not having knowledge of what's going
Because
on.
Dan went to them and explained it, the whole thing, and they agreed. They agreed that, yeah, they were all on board with it.
The
but
Board of
nothing ever
Health-
got
the Board
done.
of Health was on.
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, with the five, that's where they were gonna be. And nothing ever got done.
if we cut this, Ben, and make this change today, if they wanted to come back and appeal it later and make a budget amendment, they could bring it back to us, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I move to make these changes that Mark has recommended.
I'll second that.
I,
just a second. We have a motion and a second to approve the changes to the health board that Mark proposed. Is there any further discussion?
I'm not saying I disagree with that, but I think we deserve to have somebody from the Board of Health come in.
I'm on it. I sit there. I know what's going on.
Well,
And I've
who's the
explained-
chairman-
I've
who's the
explained-
chair of the Board of Health.
Janet is.
Well, there we go. That's what.
Well, they can, like I just asked Ben the question. If they want to appeal it and make a budget amendment, they can bring it back to the board. That's up to them. They can put their 2 cents in and it can be reversed.
I'm not against it. I just feel the chair of the board should have the opportunity to explain.
Well, I have, my patience with their actions
Yeah.
is very, very thin. It's been a year since we gave them a proposal. We've got no action out of them on the request to find an RFP from our other service providers. And approximately 1 year later, there's been no response, period. So,
And this doesn't reflect that. I mean,
No.
I can see
No.
your anger at that not getting done, maybe, it's to say, but these are numbers that do need to be changed in order to make the budget work. So I'm gonna call it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Those opposed,
Aye.
motion passes.
So that'll be the third run, and is there anything else for the third run, or are we gonna make that the final?
I'm good with it.
Anything else people want to consider for the
HR.
That's up to these guys. I think that the consensus last time we talked about that was to wait till next year.
See, what's the governor imposing to cut our, down to 10% on carryover in the general fund or what?
Yeah.
How you gonna do that?
How we
I
gonna,
don't know
how we gonna do that if they do
From
that?
July 1 till into
At
September.
10%.
Yeah,
They had what, six, I think there were six of them in there, wasn't it? What was what she had?
Period.
Had one.
3 months worth of operating expense,
on 10%.
10%.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that. Well, there was also a proposal in her budget to make the auditor, the treasurer, and the recorder appointed positions rather than elected positions, so
Isn't that required constitutional amendment?
I have no idea.
I still feel we should be paying for one of the water monitoring on the Bright River. I know that's
We
not
do.
popular consensus. We don't do it on the Upper Iowa. If we do it on Turkey, that's great. We need to do it on the Upper Iowa. I think we need to have statistics to be able to move forward in the future.
I didn't see any offer from the city council to participate, and since their water basically comes out of the Upper Iowa, I never heard them make any suggestion that they ought to be putting in any money.
Well, I can't make decisions for them.
I can't either, but I don't see
I
them
can-
stepping up.
I could.
We provide, you can get your water tests, we provide water tests. You get your water, you're free if you want, and
Well,
if you need to filter or something, hey. We're doing our job. Yeah, we do the Turkey Valley, we're doing it for Northeast Iowa.
well, just,
We're putting
that's one
money in.
river. This is
Yeah.
enough. This is a different river and it has a whole different set of ramifications. So the cost of what it is negligible compared to what the long-term costs are gonna be down the road. And I just think we need to have the data. to be able to
That's your
support that.
opinion.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Any other direction on the budget? No.
If not, I'll bring a final the next time we meet, which is presumably gonna be 2 weeks from now. But by then I'll also be needing to prepare for the newspaper. So if there's anything that you think needs to be done from when I email out this final, I need to know that before I send it to the newspaper. Which means you might have to meet next week.
If we look at our building maintenance budget, you think we've got enough in there to be able to accommodate what we may have to?
I think so, because one of the biggest bonuses for that is that we're taking a third of the gas, electric, and water out
Oh,
of
yeah.
district court. We're taking it out of it, well, we didn't change his budget, but we added it for the district court budget, and so
That expense comes
that'll
out
be an
there.
extra 30,000-40,000 right there that he won't have to spend out of his budget. So that'll help if we need to do some remodeling, say in the old jail or something.
No jail will have to stay like it is. We'll have remodeling inside the courthouse.
In the courthouse, yeah.
That's different story.
Consent agenda?
I've got minutes, claims, and recorder's monthly report.
I'd move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. And I was gonna ask a question here. What is this, Whitney Gessner, Legal Services? 33, and then,
She served as a guardian ad litem in a criminal case.
oh,
So those are her fees and they're charged at the defense counsel rate, which I think is 70 or 75.
okay. All of them in favor, say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion.
And someone started copy the claim signature too.
Committee reports?
Northeast Iowa Workforce Board met this last week and it was focused on bylaw changes. They did go through, there hadn't been a requirement for audit that they'd skipped for some reason. And so they did 3 years worth of audits and all passed completely clear. So that's a good thing. But most of the meeting, lengthy meeting was all about different bylaw pieces that were just updating against, keeping current with California law or Iowa law, wrong state. I don't think we could keep up with that other state. Nothing actually earth shattering.
Me and Dan are going to Farm Bureau meeting tonight. They invited us. We did that last year too, so. Yeah. Review.
Yeah,
You just kind of go over and ask questions about what's going on.
they used to come here, but it's a lot easier just to go to their meeting and do it because it's everybody works and try to get it. Come here.
Yeah. All right. Next on the agenda, Andy Vanderbilt, our county attorney. Do you have anything other than in the closed session?
I do not, do you?
Let's go. We're in a closed session for discuss sale of property authorized under Iowa Code 21.5
Motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Sure. And a second to go into closed session. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I was reading that publication that the Farm Bureau puts out there. It's listed a whole bunch of changes to an Iowa farm bill. I don't know if you saw that, and I read it last week and someone just happened, I don't remember all the facts, but I noticed in there an item about increasing the weight limit for the bridges. And I wondered, what would that do? I don't know how far it is, if anybody knows about it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll
Stop
find
next
out.
door and
Yeah.
ask him. Stop next door and ask the engineer.
Oh.
He would know. Because I think it's kind of risky. Because if we're raising those limits again, we've got bridges that
Well, that's what I thought.
we don't want.
We had that one that was destroyed and, we've been working on bridges, but.
Yeah, what were they talking about increasing it over 10%? Over 100,000.
Fatima, we need to have the open meeting paused, please.
Just a sec.
We'll let you know when we go back into open session.
Anyone have a motion to make?
I would like Ben to read the motion that we will make.
Direct the chair to continue discussions and investigations of options regarding currently leased properties.
I will motion that.
Second.
A motion to second for that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Does anyone have anything else?
So you think now we probably will meet next Monday?
No, I don't think we'll meet next Monday. There's nothing on there. Unless there's something with the budget that comes up again that we have to.
Mark and I are going to,
Meet with HHS the end of the month here. They have a new administrator for this area or district or whatever it is, so.
and then we'll see if we can possibly trim some of the space needs out.
And that Toys R Us, we're gonna have to meet with them and tell them to clean up that. That's a disaster. I don't even know if it's fire or legal, the way they got crap piled in there. That's.
Well, they could be.
Spectrum had to put a curtain up because it was god awful to look at. It was just, it's nasty. There's
Well-
stuff piled up in there all over. You can't really walk through there.
Well, we may have a fire liability right there.
Could be, that's what even where they walk through, they got toy You can't, it ain't ADA compliant, I know that.
Who has the office that we've cut out of the conference room?
Spectrum.
Do they use it?
Well, they just, one guy hangs out in there.
Yeah.
There's not, I mean, we could take that, we could easily, that should be replaned back.
Yes.
I mean, at the very least, we could take that in the conference room itself, which is not used, and make it into
The,
an office pair if we,
Yeah.
for relocation. We could put veterans there or something, and we could put a personnel office there. We could do a number of different things.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Opposed?
I heard for one.
You've never, that's one thing I've never heard you object on, Mark. Oh, adjourning. Or
Well, I think that goes both directions.
And then can I get like dozen copies of this, maybe a dozen of.
Oh, you happy with the Super Bowl?
I really didn't care.
I do.
That's pop up.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's fun.
We want the
12 of each. Then they
Yeah, I
evaluate.
punched two teams.
I said,
I wanted
copies. Should I put, I could do like one side the valuation, the other, the awards to the.
Yeah, yep,
organization.
yep. Yeah, do that.
Well,
And then
you know, if you see it, when the Patriots would have kicked the extra point instead of going for two.
Yeah.
I would
Got
have
it.
won
See
$500.
You do.
I knew they were gonna go
Well,
for two.
yeah,
So.
Stick it up the ante to
That's
their appropriations to the fair board. We could drop it down.
I don't know if they give anything.
Yeah, do you think they do? No. Sherwin-Williams.
Oh, somebody.
Was that a-
Just an extra copy from last week. Yeah, she seems to be halfway decent. She has them when the next Monday. That's actually changing my other debt. I'm gonna be available. She can sell them. Yeah.
Have to read out.
Yeah, they're gonna have to reoperate. They're gonna try to fix that knee joint. And assuming that's successful, it'll be a better, shorter recovery time than the original knee, but it'll still be several weeks.
She said 3 weeks of.
Yeah, I'm not bending it at
I'll have
all.
one of those.
Yeah,
Speed velcros.
yeah. She won't be able to bend it at all for like 3 weeks and then,
Oh, okay.
then she'll go back to
Yeah.
therapy and work on bending it again.
How many books are there?
Yeah, 2 left. You can shut it down.
Bad enough, just having knee surgery.
Yeah.
Be bending it.
Yeah, so she, yeah.
That's gonna be so.
Start at